a minute or two?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. You all. ओम अज्ञानान्तिमरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Now भजन राधा माधव। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी चंद वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, जय गोपी चंद वल्लभ गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरे वनचारी, यमुना तीरे वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। राधे कृष्ण की जय, राधे राधे जय। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, थैंक यू टू ऑल।
So, thank you, Mamaji. Now we'll start today's lesson 181. But before that, I welcome all the devotees to the today's session, and let me offer obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Goswamis, and to the Parampara. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं तजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Now I will offer my obeisances to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, but before that, to the three deities, Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam, Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam, Bhaktavataram, Bhaktaksham, Namami Bhakta Sattikam, Jaitam Surato Pangur, Mama Mandamatirgati, Matsarvasva Padambujo, Radha Madana Mohono, Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadruma, Srimad Ratnangara Singhasanastito, Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo, Prashtali Setyamana Smarami, श्रीमान रासरसारंभी बंशीवट तटस्थित कर्शन वेणु स्वनिर गोपीर गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो महापदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरोतिसे नमः. O most beneficent incarnation, your Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Chisa Krishnam Sangopangostra Parsadam Yajna Sankirtanam Praye Rejajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. नाना शास्त्र विचारण के निपुणौ सद्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने वन्य शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजनान आनंदेन मत्तालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतो सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Now we'll start our lesson for today, that is lesson 181. I welcome all the devotees once again. But before that, let us go through what we learned last time in lesson 180. That is recap of lesson 180.
Hare Krishna devotees. So let me share my screen. Can everybody see? One second. What time? can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good. Hare Krishna devotees. So today is my turn for the recap. And I have 15 minutes to go. I'm just looking at my watch also on the wall. So we'll be doing last week, Sharad Prabhuji discussed about Canto 11, chapter 29, Bhakti. And this is the concluding part of Uddhav Gita, started with the chapter 7 and ends, I think, 29. Very profound knowledge was there. So as I'm looking at that, all questions are same to me. I have difficulty to what to take, what not to take. So just housekeeping. We are very few devotees on the call right now. So we'll not have discussion. We'll have a question. I highlighted and let's go on. Every question has a small quick answer. So we'll try to cover most of the thing that we have. So everybody can hear me, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
yes.
Okay, so with that, let's continue. It's a very, very important. This is the final teaching of Lord Krishna to Uddhava, and as a Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the final teaching as far as the philosophical part is concerned to us also. So very important few aspects are there. I don't have time to summarize that now, but let's go with. So very first question is here. As I'm showing it here, detachment and simplicity in devotional practice. So first question is, what was Uddhava's question to Lord Krishna? And I highlighted. So it's whole chapter starts with that. Uddhava's question to Lord Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Uddhava was inquiring about the struggle a devotee face while doing the spiritual practice, and he asked straightforwardly to Krishna that what are the common struggles that we face, many face in achieving true detachment. That is detachment from the materialistic world. And Krishna said that everybody pursuing spiritual practice and doing pure devotional service should have the humility and surrender and should be detached from the material world. And there is no barrier for anybody to do the spiritual practice. Anyone can start at any time and any age.
Yeah. So basic question was that different paths are there, and that is also the essence of that question. So a lot more austere paths are there. Is that the one? That was the question. So question 2 here, this the nature of illusion. So I have one question here. What impact can have Lord's illusion? It talks of nature of illusion. This is
Illusion
the two.
creates a barrier to liberation.
Barrier to.
Anybody can be anybody can succumb to Maya or illusion of Lord, but it creates a barrier to liberation and spiritual.
Whom specifically it is talking about? Which transcendentalist is mentioning here?
The mystic
Anybody?
yogis.
Mystic yogis.
Advaita.
Yeah, mystic fruitive workers, mystic yogis talking about. Bhakti is a supreme. So all other paths, jnana, karma, and Ashtanga yoga is basically referring to that. And it's a difficult path because they are depending on themselves, right? That's what is. Let's go to the next one. I had question on fourth because I think for some reason third is also same as the second slide. Okay, so this is the fourth slide fourth. So what is the meaning of obeisance and humility to all individuals? Obeisance and humility. That's the fifth one.
So humility is an essential part of bhakti marg. Unless and until one is humble in true sense, he won't be able to sustain on the path for a longer time. And Krishna hates even a little bit of ego. So One obeisance is when you surrender yourself, giving up. So when a person is constantly coming down all the time, he is practicing more and more humility. In fact, there was a saint in Vrindavan whose only seva was to do so many obeisances in a day. So,
Yeah, Raghunath. Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Okay. Raghunath Goswami, he used to pay. Chala, Sharad Prabhu can tell at the end also. So, chapter 29, this is the essence of this chapter. Okay. And recognizing the Lord is residing in everybody's heart. And with that, how to see equal. If you don't do, there is no salvation. In Canto 3rd also, this is a discuss in detail. Okay. So, that is there. So, offering
Yes, I
obeisance to all.
just want to say
But-
that
Yes, go
Raghunath
ahead,
Das
ma'am.
Goswami used to pay 1,000 obeisances to his deities and 2,000
Yeah.
obeisances to the Vaishnavas every
Yes,
day.
mother. Yes. So we'll go ahead with that. Now go to the sixth one. So what is the transcendental nature of devotional service? That is the sixth. So because we saw Jnana, we saw Ashtanga Yoga, we saw, karma, futility of that. So transcendental nature of a devotional service. What is that?
Practice of spiritual service is eternal. It never goes in vain. The
Yes.
point we live, that is the beginning point of the next step. And when we want the ultimate goal, that is to attain Lord, then and pursue the union with divine, then we should crave for divine blessing, which comes from the devotional service, and that is the transcendental nature.
And it's eternal. It's mentioned eternal, firmly and who was given this by Lord himself, firmly established by Lord, right? And never in vain. As you said, whatever where you live, next time, next birth, you start from there. All other practice ends. If you are not perfected, it doesn't take
प्रभु
you
जी यहाँ
anywhere.
पे हम 2.40 को कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं प्रभु जी.
Yes,
नेहा
yes.
विक्रम नाशनोति.
Correct. So we'll go to the next one. This is a slide 5. What Uddhava's example illustrates the path of liberation? Yeah. Uddhava was not ordinary person, right? We understand he is a humility. He was on Jnana platform.
It is also called a Pancham Purusharth, प्रभु जी.
Right. So what is the here Uddhava's example in this case illustrate us the path of liberation. He shows by his example.
He not just listens to Krishna's instruction, but he obediently walks on that particular path.
Yes, that is the basic essence. Okay, let's go
Hmm.
ahead to the next one. Okay, next one. 6. Okay, I am on 6. Okay, here I have a question on first itself. That is the challenge of yoga without divine grace. So, explain importance of divine grace to a yoga practitioner. That means basically Jnanis or Karmis or Ashtanga yogis. Even his grace is required. So that is what is there. So please explain.
So necessity is there of divine grace if to support our spiritual life. If we don't get, then we face frustration, fatigue, and we can be striving for perfection on our own. If we do that, it's going to be very difficult. So
Right. So
While on the other hand, if there is divine grace on
Yeah.
the individual, even like they say, the lame person can walk, the
Grace
Correct.
empower
mute
our
can stand.
spiritual growth.
Correct.
Mm.
So that is the perfect. So next question is on 2, finding refuge in the Supreme. So what is the realization of Uddhava's for taking refuge in the Supreme Personality of Godhead? His realization. He surrendered to Lord Krishna, right?
He realizes that he has limitations, but when he humbly surrenders to the Lord, he can have success on devotional service,
Perfect.
on the path.
Okay. Correct. Yes, Mataji. So we'll go ahead here. One
Most
question.
important part Sharanagati.
Correct. So that will come. That will come. So here on third, unconditional mercy of the Lord. So I have a question. Explain the unconditional mercy of the Lord. Basically, example given the Lord Ram and the gopis. So is the Lord's mercy conditional or unconditional? That's the question.
His blessings are without preconditions or no expectations.
It's
So
causeless
he,
mercy.
Lord is compassionate to everyone, every creature of His creation. So that is unconditional, and everybody deserves it without any social boundaries or
Yeah.
caste,
Okay.
creed, or religion.
Okay. I have one question here. Unconditional this thing. Then we'll go to the eighth. Okay. Here on fifth year, transcendental knowledge and devotional service. Very nice. This is the point raised here. So question is, explain why genuine devotion and not intellectual understanding is essential to realize the absolute truth. Genuine devotion more than the knowledge to realize the absolute truth. This is point 5.
Because devotion elevates bhakti, but speculative knowledge doesn't do that.
Okay. Okay. So
When
let's
we
go.
do bhakti, ददामि बुद्धि योगम, भगवान हमें बुद्धि देते हैं नॉलेज
बुद्धि
को
देते हैं.
समझने के लिए. Yes.
Correct. So next one, surrendering without personal motivation. Very, very important here. The question on this one, what is the true religion? Offering, offering activities to Lord without a personal desire is called. So why? Surrendering without personal motivation. That's called, that is called authentic.
अहेतुकी भक्ति.
Can somebody dwell into this one without personal motivation? That's called absolute bhakti.
Yeah, so we have to worship Lord for His pleasure, and the idea is to achieve service of His lotus feet, at His
Correct.
lotus feet.
Correct. So we'll go to the couple of questions if you can do. Time is, I have 4 or 5 minutes left out. So here, very important. This is the page 10. Dissemination of knowledge. Here. So explain significance of sharing spiritual knowledge in the community. So why it's so important? Sharing the absolute knowledge, like whatever we study, right? Why it is important? This is the point 1. Yeah.
Sharing of knowledge is a catalyst for transformation, and in a community, spiritual knowledge is when spiritual knowledge is shared, it uplifts others and deepens their bhakti.
It deepens their bhakti. Perfect, Mother. So let's go. This is 11. No, 11. I have one question here. Let's see whatever we can. Now, point 3. There is a criteria for whom you can share, whom you cannot share. Can somebody elaborate? That's a point 3. You cannot share bhakti to everyone. Why?
जो पाखंडी है, जो अश्रद्धालु है, उनको हम शेयर नहीं कर सकते हैं.
Those who
Why?
do not have pure heart or sincerity, they should not be shared.
There's a reason given here. Can somebody bring it out?
They are not
Why we can?
worthy to, because even if you
Because
share
they
with
don't
them,
have
they will
any
not.
faith and humility.
Humility and play.
Worthy. Mataji is talking about prepared, worthy of some, you need to receive, ready to receive, right? That is there. So that question here is on 12th one. What is the significance of emotional depth in a devotional service as illustrated by Uddhava? Emotions are required in bhakti, right? How Uddhava presented himself.
One should feel the viprama that is filling up separation from the Lord, and Uddhava felt that while departure, and he did pranam to Lord, and tears were rolling down his cheeks, and he had it was a very powerful feeling of deep sorrow, and
Yes.
this connected intensely with him, the divine.
Yes. So the next question, 13. Prabhuji, I'll ask, can I have a couple of minutes? I'll stop here, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Sarah
yes,
Prabhuji.
yes, yes,
Okay. I have 3-4 questions. If you give me 3-4 minutes, I'll finish. So 13, this look. Explain how authentic spiritual knowledge attains eternal bliss. Authentic knowledge talks about your ultimate destination. Authentic spiritual knowledge. Point 8.
Prabhuji, Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yes.
Divine knowledge paves the way to liberation, and it gives us a chance for eternal union with Lord Krishna, the Supreme Person of Godhead.
Yes.
And
So no.
yeah,
Yeah. So let's go to the couple of more. I'll have this on 15th. Yes, on 15th. This is a very nice. What is the role of devotees in attaining bhakti? Devotees plays critical role. Sadhu Sang. Can somebody elaborate what is the mention here? Sadhu Sang. They are integral part
Sadhu
of.
Sangha is a
yeah,
vital
Sadhu,
role. Sadhu Sangha played the vital role because it helps each other. सबको एक साथ में रह के भक्ति करेंगे तो सब एक दूसरे को हेल्प करेंगे तो सबका अपलिफ्टमेंट अच्छा होता है.
Acha hoga, and it's a highly emphasized. Okay, so 16, I have one more. Explain unconditional nature of a divine benediction, compassion to devotees. Yeah, nature of divine benediction. So Lord compassion is available to everyone. Let's go to the
everyone.
last, everyone. Yeah. So last question I'll ask, Sharanagati. Okay. So what is the importance of Sharanagati in a devotional service? This is the last and important aspects of bhakti.
Yeah, Uddhava's devotional to complete surrender to Krishna he acknowledged that the complete dependence on Lord. It gives us a powerful way for transforming the pathway to spiritual fulfillment, and his unwavering readiness to embrace any service or instruction from Krishna gives us the embodies to higher, turning him to as a devoted disciple.
Okay,
And
Prabhuji, I'll stop here. Thank you, Mataji. You gave, all of you are expert in that. Just we are touching, high level. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Back to you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Dandat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Sarat Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
We are talking about humility, but at higher level, please remember that Ananyata, it is a Sanskrit word, it doesn't have any equivalent English word for that. Ananyata and humility both are very, very important. Then we spoke about unconditional the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Now, if you read the life histories of the various devotees, and especially the Muslim devotees of Vrindavan, you will realize that they did nothing, but they still got the abode of the Supreme Lord. They never practiced any devotional service, anything of that sort, but still they got the highest thing. And that is because of the Supreme Lord's mercy, unconditional mercy. you do devotional service, then I will be merciful. No, it is not there. He can be merciful at his will. Okay, then we'll start with today's class. Please remember, this is we are about to end Canto 11. In today's class and tomorrow's class, today is 181 and tomorrow is 182. And today is the disappearance of the Yadu dynasty, and the tomorrow we'll learn about the disappearance of Lord Krishna. And it is very important to understand these things. Why the Yadu dynasty they disappeared, and do we have to blame somebody for that? All these things we have actually studied in detail in the Sandarbha classes, also in Krishna Sandarbha, but we'll see here what is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, this chapter, that is chapter 30, discusses the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. Why it happened? Because the Lord Krishna, he wanted to wind up his pastimes in the material world. And here what happened after Uddhava left for Badrikasrama as per Lord Krishna's instructions, taking note of many bad omens, Krishna advised the Yadavas to abandon Dwaraka and go to Prabhasa on the bank of Saraswati to perform yajna and other rituals for counteracting bad fortune. They followed his advice, went to Pravasa. There they became absorbed in festivity, and by the illusory power of the Supreme Lord, they became intoxicated from drinking liquor. Thus, they lost their intelligence, they quarreled among themselves and began killing each other until not a man was left alive. And thereafter what happened? Lord Baladeva, he went to the shore of the ocean by his mystic strength of yoga and gave up his body. And seeing the disappearance of Baladeva, Krishna sat silently at a place. Then a hunter named Jara mistaken the sole of the Lord's feet for a deer and pierced it with an arrow. And the hunter immediately understood his mistake and he fell at the lotus feet of Krishna and begged to be punished. And in reply, Krishna told the hunter that what he has done was actually according to the Lord's own desire. Then the Lord then sent the hunter to Vaikuntha. Then Krishna's his charioteer, that is Daruka, arrived at the scene and saw Lord Krishna in that condition, and he began to lament. And Krishna told him that he should go to Dwaraka and inform the residents about the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty and advise them all to leave Dwaraka for Indraprastha. And Daruka immediately carried out his order. This is what is given in this chapter. We'll go in little more detail before we come on to the next slide. Let us know what is given in this Srimad Bhagavatam. Now here in the very beginning, Parikshit Maharaj is asking a question. He says, after the great devotee Uddhava had left from the forest, what did the Supreme Personality of Godhead do in the city of Dwaraka? And after his own dynasty made destruction from the curse of the Brahmana, how could the best of the Yadus give up his body? And he said once their eyes were fixed upon his transcendental form, the women were unable to withdraw them. And once that form had entered the ears of the sages and become fixed in their hearts, it would never depart. And also, hearing all this, Sukadeva Goswami, he said that having observed many disturbances disturbing signs in the sky, on the earth, and in the outer space, Krishna addressed the Yadus assembled in the Sudharma Council Hall, and he told that please note all these terrible omens and that have appeared in Dwarka, and these are like the flags of death, and we should not remain here for a moment any longer. The women, children, and old men should leave this city and go to Shankhodara, and we shall go to Prabhas Kshetra, where the river Saraswati flows towards the west. That is the they went separately to two separate places. And he also said that why they should go for, they should take bath in river Saraswati for purification, fast, and fixing their minds on meditation. Then should worship the demigods by bathing their images like this. And after performing all these rituals with the help of great fortune of the Brahmanas, then they should worship these Brahmanas by offering them cows, land, gold, clothing, elephants, horses, chariots, dwelling places like this. And having heard these words from Krishna, the elders of the Yadu dynasty gave their assessment saying, so be it. And after crossing over the ocean in boats, they proceeded on the chariots to Prabhasa. They were in an island in the sea. Then, with great devotion, the Yadavas performed the religious ceremony according to the instructions of Krishna. Then what happened, their intelligence got covered by providence, and they liberally indulged in drinking the sweet beverage and became intoxicated very much. And these heroes of the Yadu dynasty, from their extravagant drinking, began to feel arrogant. And then they got infuriated, and they seized their bows and arrows, swords, and all the weapons, and riding on elephants and chariots with flags flying, and also on donkeys, camels, bulls, buffalos, mules, and even human beings. They started fighting with each other, and their mutual enmity, and when it was aroused, Pradyumna fought fiercely against Samba, Akrura against Kunti Bhoja, Aniruddha against Satyaki, Subhadra against Sangramajit, Sumitra against Suratha, and the two Gadas against each other. Like this, it went on. And completely they abandoned their natural friendship, and they started fighting, and all they slaughtered everybody. And thus, bewildered, the sons of Krishna, they fought with the fathers, brought brothers, nephews, and all relations. And thereafter, what happened, in their confused state, they mistook Lord Balrama for an enemy, and weapons in hand, they ran toward him with the intention of killing him. And Krishna and Balrama then became very, very angry, and picking up cane stalks, they moved about within the battle and began to kill with these clubs. And the violent anger of these warriors, who were overcome by the Brahmana's curse and bewildered by Lord Krishna's illusory potency, now led them to their annihilation. And when all the members of the Yadu dynasty were destroyed, Lord Krishna thought to himself that at last the burden of the earth has been removed. Now, this was the actual reason. Let us go to the next slide. Now, divine will and human actions. This narrative profoundly demonstrates the dynamic interplay between divine will. In very short, why this fighting took place. It was the divine will. Lord Krishna wanted to withdraw the Yadu dynasty, and he did this. For this, you cannot blame the Yadavas for drinking and indulging in drinking and other things. Now, this thing powerfully illustrates that even with divine intervention, the human misuse their gift of free will. We have been given free will by the Supreme Lord, and if we misuse it, then we will be in trouble. And that's what actually the Yadavas they did. Consequently, they are accountable ultimately for their decisions. It serves as a compelling call for actions grounded in self-awareness and mindfulness, emphasizing that these qualities hold the potential to avert catastrophic outcomes. That means one should use his power of free will very judiciously. Otherwise, things like what happened to the Yadavas will happen. However, in this case in particular, the Yadus are no ordinary humans, but they just play a role of human beings and merely act under the predestined supreme will of the Lord. For ordinary humans, however, the tussle is between their limited free will versus the predestined destiny. This is applicable to us. But as I told you, the Yadavas, they are the constant companions of the Supreme Lord. They are not under these rules under which we come. And they come under the rule of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord wanted that, and it happened like that. That's why they should not be blamed. But if we do something like this, then we will be blamed. Because the Yadus are at a much higher level than any human being. Though they were born as humans, they are jivas, no doubt, but they are the constant companions of the Supreme Lord. Now, the illusion and reality, the intoxication of the Yadavas stands as a striking metaphor for the nature of illusion. They were illusioned, that's why they drank the sweet wine and they fought with each other, because this was the will of the Supreme Lord. Their failure to grasp the stark reality of their predicament due to drunkenness exemplifies how attachment and delusion can obscure judgment, leading to devastating consequences. Now, if a human being does like this, then he will be totally destroyed. And this theme powerfully articulates the ephemeral nature of material existence. Even if the Yadavas were the constant companions of the Supreme Lord and they came to this material world as human beings, still their time was limited in this material world, and it demands unwavering vigilance and pursuit for higher consciousness to distinguish truth from illusion, a fundamental principle in devotional paths that aspire to elevate the soul beyond the trivialities of worldly existence. We should try to understand what is true and what is illusion. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Mortality and transience. Now, the quality of being transient, temporary, brief, or fleeting. Now, the narrative unfolds with the demise of the Yadu dynasty and Lord Balrama, culminating in Krishna's own departure from the earthly realm. And this procession highlights the inescapable reality of life's impermanence and the certainty of death. Death for us, for the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna and Balrama, there is no death. They just appear and disappear. But since they came in the human form, they are trying to show us as if they also died. But they never died. They never died. They just disappeared. After they completed their Leela, they disappeared to their own dhamas. Now, the theme of mortality invites profound reflection on the essence of existence and journey of the soul. In the material world, everything is impermanent. It emphasizes the urgency for devotees to grasp the fleeting nature of the physical body and to prioritize spiritual realization. We should remember that the Lord has been very, very kind to us and has given this human form, and we should utilize this for spiritual purposes, that is for devotional service only and nothing else. The concluding interaction poignantly reinforced the transition from the physical to spiritual realm, solidifying the belief in the eternal soul. Now the compassion and divine justice. In a profound moment, misunderstanding, the hunter Jara accidentally injures Lord Krishna, rather than responding with anger. Krishna embodies the essence of compassion, revealing that even this mistake is woven into divine tapestry of purpose. This was for a purpose, and that's why it happened like this. And Jara was not to be blamed. Now here in the photo you will see it is the four-handed Krishna. It is four-handed form. And that is the Vasudeva Krishna. There is a difference between Vasudeva Krishna and Nandanandan Krishna. Nandanandan Krishna is always two-handed. And Vasudeva Krishna is four-handed. But he was in two-handed form in Dwarka. And by choosing to send Jara to Vaikuntha, a sacred realm of eternal bliss, despite the severity of his actions, Krishna exemplifies the boundless nature of his divine mercy. His mercy is without any limit. He was merciful to Jara, even though he tried to kill the deer and he saw deer in him. And this thing powerfully illustrates the intricate fabric of divine justice and deep reassurance it provides. We should have faith on the Supreme Lord. We should have faith that He will do justice under all circumstances. It emphasizes that even our most egregious lapses can hold a place within a larger divine scheme, encouraging devotees to place their trust in the universe's grand design. We should have total trust on the Supreme Lord, and this can come by our Saranagati, the level of Saranagati. If you are totally surrendered, you will be totally dependent on Krishna. And we should always think that under all circumstances, the Supreme Lord will save us, will help us. And this message reaffirms the divine compassion is not merely an abstract philosophical concept, but a tangible and accessible reality available to all souls. Now, this is available to anybody and everybody without any distinction. It underscores the significance of grace on the devotion journey of devotion, reminding believers that redemption is always within reach. It is the Lord is within reach of anybody and everybody. One should not think that I cannot reach the Supreme Lord, but that is not so. Anybody and everybody can reach the Supreme Lord, but for reaching Him, the easiest path is practicing devotional service. Let us go to the next slide. Now, unity in devotion and community. Now, the Yadavas begin in a harmonious celebration, embodying the strength of unity, only to succumb to destructive infighting. They went together, they did all the rituals together, but at the end they fought with each other. Their initial collective engagement in rituals and pravasa starkly contrasts with the eventual disintegration into chaos, highlighting the vital role of community in spiritual practice. Now, this theme powerfully underscores that community and shared devotion are essential pillars of spiritual growth. It suggests that collective worship and adherence to spiritual values cultivate harmony and unity, while their neglect can spiral into division and devastation. This serves as a wake-up call for all devotees to actively nurture their relationship and uphold communal values, recognizing that the strength of their spiritual journey is intimately tied to the bonds they form with one another. They should not fight with each other. They should see the Supreme Lord in each and every being. This is what is the gist. And in conclusion, the thematic elements drawn from this passage, we may reach narrative of philosophical insights deeply relevant to the practice of devotional spirituality. They invite profound reflection on the nature of divine interactions, the significance of free will, the reality of mortality, the compassion inherent in divine justice, and the paramount importance of community in spiritual pursuit. We have seen all these things, and in each theme serves as a compelling invitation for practitioners to deepen their engagement with and understanding their spiritual values. Go to the next slide. Now, the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty, divine will and the nature of reality, the BBT purports examine the nature of the divine form. The text powerfully affirms that Lord Krishna's spiritual form is eternal, blissful, and untainted by material influences. Therefore, he cannot die if anybody pierces his arrow on his body. While the Brahmana sages curse, including that of Queen Gandhari and Devas and Brahma's appeal for the Lord to return to his abode as his mission on earth on their behalf had been fully accomplished, led to the downfall of the Yadu dynasty. These are the various reasons. Gandhari had cursed Krishna that you have killed my 100 sons and you will also be killed like this. And Lord Brahma, he appealed to the Supreme Lord to come back after he had completed the 125 years in the material world. And therefore, the Yadu dynasty had to vanish from the material world because they were the biggest danger. And if Krishna had left them after he went to the spiritual world, then there would have been chaos. That's why he had to take them along. That's why all these things happened. And this thing compellingly underscores the profound distinction between material and spiritual realms. That means what we think in the material world and what happens in the spiritual realm, they are totally different, asserting that divine forms are immune to decay and destruction, unlike their material counterparts. What may seem like chaos and violence among the Yadus is in fact a manifestation of Krishna's internal potency, illuminating deeper dimensions of divine will and inspiring steadfast trust in the audience. This everything happened because of Krishna's will only. That's why we should not blame the Yadus. And this thing profoundly suggests that the divine pastimes transcend human understanding and are driven by an ultimate purpose. There was a purpose of withdrawing the Yadavas into their places. It encourages devotees to surrender to Krishna's divine wisdom, that is surrender or saranagati, reinforcing the notion that events appearing tragic or chaotic in the material world are in reality part of a grand benevolent plan orchestrated by the Supreme, a source of comfort and reassurance for all. That's why anything and everything happens to us, whether it is pleasurable, whether it is not pleasurable, that is because of the Lord's will and his grand plan, and we should accept that under all circumstances. And then go to the next slide. The role of the women's and divine signs. As I told you, there were so many signs which gave an indication that the bad things are going to happen in near future. The narrative compellingly introduces a series of ominous signs observed by Lord Krishna prior to the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. And these signs serve as forewarnings of impending doom. If there is something bad to happen, the signs will come, the indications will come beforehand, reflecting Krishna's profound awareness of the spiritual state of his followers and the broader world around him. The invocation of omens underscores the intricate connection between the spiritual and the material world. It hints at a divine consciousness that is attuned to the subtle energies and signs indicating the moral and spiritual condition of the society. When all these signs they come, they not only that they came in Dwarka, but the Pandavas in their places in Indraprastha, they also saw all these signs, and this awareness serves as a clarion call that is alarmingly singular or wake-up call for individuals to recognize and promptly respond to spiritual indications in their own lives, urging them towards introspection and growth. And when we also see the bad omens in the material world, we should now wake up and introspect why this has happened and what can be done rather than ignoring them. Now, self-destruction and divine intervention, the Yadus, they consumed by their intoxication and embroiled in conflict, ultimately seal their own fate in a tragic spiral of rage and confusion. The cautionary tale, despite their formidable strength and noble heritage, starkly illuminates the perils of succumbing to base instincts, culminating in their mutual annihilation. They were great under all definitions, but still they got involved in this, and we should learn from them. They were the constant companions of the Supreme Lord, but we are lesser human beings, and we should not behave like that. The downfall of the Yadus serves as a powerful reminder of the risk inherent in ignoring divine guidance. Lord Krishna had warned them, but still they did not follow. It underscores the vital need for humility and devotion, illuminating the dire ramifications of dismissing spiritual wisdom. I told you that how they got inimical to Lord Balram also. And this narrative warns us that unchecked pride and arrogance pave the path for destruction, emphasizing that true strength lies in surrendering to the divine will and nothing else. Let us go to the next slide. The burden of the earth and the relief, divine relief. In the aftermath of the Yadu dynasty's self-destruction, Lord Krishna, why self-destruction? Because there was nobody present in the earth who could destroy the Yadu dynasty. That's why they had to get destroyed by destroying themselves. And this was the plan of Lord, Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna perceives that the earth's burden has finally been lifted because they would have been a burden after Krishna left. And this transformation reveals that the actions of the Yadus, particularly their destructive choices, contributed to spiritual imbalance that demanded rectification, spotlighting the profound impact of individual actions. Like if we come into such situations, we should examine ourselves and our intentions and should be totally surrendered to the Supreme Lord. They behaved. Why? We are saying they did not take into account this thing, that thing, but it was plan of the Supreme Lord, that's why it happened. And this thing powerfully illustrates the necessity of divine intervention in re-establishing harmony with the world. It offers reassurance that a benevolent God, deeply invested in the welfare of all beings, actively preserves cosmic order. The Supreme Lord, he has got a grand plan to preserve the cosmic order, providing hope and solace in times of turmoil. We have seen so many times that when the demigods, they also get into trouble, the Supreme Lord, he comes to help them. Intoxication and bewilderment, both literal and metaphorical intoxication, cloud the judgment of the Yadus, driving them to act irrationally and violently. Their disarray is direct consequence of their disregard for spiritual principles. The Yadus descent into intoxication and bewilderment stands as a poignant cautionary tale about the dangers of indulgence. And this theme delves into how attachment to material pleasures can obscure clarity and lead to destructive choices. Therefore, what is said that sense gratification is the biggest enemy. It emphasizes the imperative of cultivating mindfulness and spiritual awareness to avoid falling prey to illusion. In conclusion, this passage intricately weaves together complex themes of divinity, the nature of reality, and the consequences of human actions, inviting readers to engage more deeply with spiritual truths. It asserts that the divine operates beyond human understanding. Normal human beings do not understand this, but as devotees, we should try to understand why this happened and how this happened, and that surrendering to this higher power is essential for meaningful spiritual growth. Let us go to the next slide. Divine departure and transcendence. The narrative opens with the poignant departure of Lord Balrama from the earthly realm, signaling the conclusion of a significant epoch and the transition to a higher state of existence. In this transformative movement, Lord Krishna's silent meditation beneath the peepal tree captures a profound essence of introspection, showcasing his acceptance of his divine role within the cosmic order. The Lord, he knows everything and nothing can be taught to him. He knew, and that's why he was acting like that. And this thing powerfully illustrates the ephemeral nature of material world juxtaposed with the eternal essence of the divine. It profoundly emphasizes the principle of vairagya, renunciation, inherent in bhakti philosophy or bhakti tradition, which advocates for a state of detachment from worldly desires and attachments. It is saying if the Yadus had understood this, then they would not have fought with each other. Then the Lord's divine form, the vivid description, a depiction of Lord Krishna's resplendent four-armed form, adorned with divine ornaments radiating a celestial glow, serves to underscore his supremely exalted status. The description of his enchanting complexion and the symbol that accompany him not only embody the beauty and grandeur of the divine, but evoke an overwhelming sense of awe and reverence within the hearts of the devotee. This dimension emphasizes the essence of personalism, Saguna Brahman, portraying God not as an abstract concept, but as a deeply relatable being. It invites devotees to reach an experience of worship, allowing them to appreciate and connect with the tangible aspects of divinity. And this fosters an intense emotional connection through rasa or bhava, the unique emotional flavor or sentiment that art and literature evoke. As I was telling you, Lord Balrama, he sat on the shore of the ocean, fixed himself in meditation upon the Supreme Lord Krishna, and merging himself within himself, he gave up this mortal world. And Krishna, the son of Devaki, when he saw the departure of Balrama, he sat silently under the peepal tree. The Lord was exhibiting his brilliantly effulgent four-armed form just like a smokeless fire, and it dissipated the darkness in all directions. And his complexion was of the color of a dark blue cloud, and his effulgence color was of molten gold, and his all auspicious form bore the mark of Srivatsa, and he was smiling beautifully in that condition, and locks of dark blue hair adorned his head, and his lotus eyes were very attractive, and his sharp set earrings that glittered. He wore a pair of silken garments and ornamental belt, the sacred thread, bracelets, arm ornaments, along with helmets, the Kaustava jewel, necklaces, anklets, and encircling his body were flower garlands and his personal weapons in their embodied forms. And as he said, he held his left foot with its lotus red sole upon his right thigh. And seeing this hunter Jara, who approached that place, mistook it for a deer's face, and thinking like this, he pierced the foot with his arrow, and then seeing the four-armed supreme personality of Godhead, the hunter became totally terrified of the offense he had committed and fell down at his lotus feet and asked to be punished. And the Supreme Lord said, Jara said, I am most sinful person. I have committed this act out of ignorance. Please forgive this sinner. And therefore, he pleaded that please kill this sinful hunter of animals immediately, so that he may not again commit such offenses against saintly persons in future. And he said that neither Brahma nor his sons headed by Rudra nor any other great sages who are the masters of the Vedic mantras can understand the function of your mystic power. Now, because of your illusory potency has covered the sight, all these things are happening. Then Krishna, he said that please do not fear, please get up. And what has been done is actually has happened because of my desire, my will, and with my permission, go to my spiritual abode and enjoy there. And then I told you about Daruka. Daruka was searching for his master Krishna everywhere. Then when he neared this place where he was sitting, he perceived the aroma of tulasi flowers in the breeze and went in that direction. And when he saw Krishna was resting at the foot of a banyan tree, surrounded by his shining weapons, Daruka could not control his affection. And Daruka said that just on a moonless night, people are merged into darkness and cannot find their way. And now this thing has happened to me. And hearing all this, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that while Daruka was still speaking, before his eyes, the Lord's chariot rose up into the sky, and with its horses and its flag, and it went up, and all the divine weapons of Vishnu, they rose up and followed the chariot. And the Supreme Lord then spoke to his chariot driver, and then thereafter he also told him that you should take your own families together with my parents and he told that you go back to Dwarka and tell the family, our family members, and how their beloved ones got destroyed, and how Sankarsana, that is Balrama, has left this world, and you and your relatives should not remain in Dwarka, and they should go and you should take your own family together with my parents under Arjuna's protection and go to Indraprastha. These were the final orders. And the final orders, more things he told. You should firmly be situated in devotion to me, remaining and fixed in spiritual knowledge, and you should not be attached to any material consideration, and understanding these pastimes to be display of my illusory potency, you should remain totally peaceful. And thus ordered, Daruka, he circumambulated the Lord and offered obeisances to him again and again, and he left. Let us see the next slide. Mistake and redemption. The encounter with the hunter Jara, who unknowingly harms the Lord, serves as a powerful narrative exploring themes of ignorance and the profound potential for redemption, because he did not do knowingly, and Lord Krishna, he understood it. That's why his mistake was not taken note of. Now, illusory potency and the divine play, in his insightful commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals how every event from the actions of the hunter to the tumult within the Yadu dynasty unfolds through the Lord's internal potency, orchestrating his divine pastimes. All these things happen because of the illusory potency acted upon them. And this profound notion of Leela, divine pastime, illuminates a deeper truth. It unveils divine intent. Because of the Lord's intention, all these things happen. Next slide. Faith and devotion amidst adversity. In the aftermath of Yadu dynasty's self-destruction, Lord Krishna perceives that the earth's burden has finally been lifted. This transformation reveals that the actions of the Yadus, particularly their destructive choices, contributed to spiritual imbalance that demanded rectification, because they were so powerful and Krishna was leaving, and this had to be rectified, and Krishna did that. Then the intoxication and bewilderment, both literal and metaphorical intoxication, cloud the judgment of the Yadus. This we saw. Then let us come to, okay, let us have 2 minutes break. And in this break, you can ask any questions if you have. Okay, if no questions, we can continue. Cosmic play, divine. The commentary of the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I will not repeat most of the things, because most of the things are same. The divine disappearance and illusion, this we saw what was the nature and why this was there. And Krishna's departure is not merely conventional death. Krishna did not die. He only disappeared. It unfolds as a transcendental act akin to masterful illusion conjured by Supreme Being. This was all illusory energy of the Supreme Lord which was used, and normal human being, he will understand that they drank and that's they got drunk, fought with each other, and that's why got destroyed. But that is not the thing. We have to understand the real meaning. And this thing powerfully understood the essential distinction between Krishna's divine essence and the mundane experience of mortal beings. What a normal mortal being feels about all these things, and what is given in the Shastras, what is given by our Acharyas, that is what is to be understood. And the role of devotees and divine recognition, the passage vividly captures the myriad reactions of celestial beings, demigods, sages, and others at Krishna's transcendental departure. Some beings, constrained by their limitations, fail to perceive his divine movement. Now, Krishna, he had come for a specific period, for a specific purpose. Now, all purposes they were fulfilled. He had to go back, and that's why he went. And before that, he had to wind up the complete thing. And that's why the Yadu dynasty seemed to got destroyed, but they actually went to the Lord's spiritual world. And this thing powerfully emphasizes the essence of bhakti, devotion, and the cherished relationship between the Lord and his devotee. It suggests that genuine understanding of the divine is attainable through unwavering faith, allowing devotees to experience the Lord's presence beyond the confines of material limitations, instilling in them a sense of value and uniqueness. This is what is to be kept in mind. Then the next, transcendental nature of Krishna's body. This we know that Krishna's body is not like our material body. It is not composed of the five elements in which our body is made of. His body is totally transcendental. It cannot perish under all circumstances. That's why what we see, he just appears and then disappears. And the cosmic order and the transition, Krishna's departure heralds a profound shift in the cosmic order, leading to the erosion of essential qualities such as the truth, religion, faithfulness. Like we know when Krishna left, Kali Yuga came, Kali came. And now what all is happening? It is because of Kali's influence here. And this thing powerfully illustrates the dynamic interplay between divine actions and the cosmic balance. Now let us go to the next slide. The experience of separation, the heart-wrenching anguish expressed by Krishna's parents and the Yadavas upon his desire, captures the deeply emotional impact that such divine separation entails. Even though they were the constant companions, those who were left behind, they totally lamented, and their lamentation underscores the human experience of loss and yearning for connection with the Lord's divinity. And this theme resonates profoundly with the concept of separation, vipralamba, found in devotional literature, which is celebrated as a profound expression of love. The Gopis Vipralamba Bhava is celebrated as a profound expression of their love toward Krishna and nothing else. The emotional turmoil wrought by separation not only deepens the bond between the devotee and the Lord, but also ignites the urgent motivation. Like if you remember, the Gopis, they wanted to be in separation because that gave them more pleasure than with their meeting with Krishna. Eternal presence and the nature of reality, though through Krishna's manifest form, they have departed. The passage affirms his eternal presence in Dwarka, just as in Braja and Mathura. He is agent today, he is also there in Dwarka. Because these are his eternal places in his unmanifest form, signifying that his essence remains accessible to those who earnestly seek him. He is still there, and those who are eligible can see them. Like in Vrindavan, he is still there. Every morning he goes to tend the cows, and all his leelas they are taking place. But since it is in the unmanifest form, we cannot see them at our level, but those eligible devotees, they will be able to see them. And this theme reinforces the notion of divine omnipresence, asserting that spiritual realization transcends the constraints of physical existence. In this material world, we may think many things are not possible, but in the Krishna's world, in the spiritual world, everything is possible. Now, divine manifestation and identity, the illusory nature of reality. This thing depends our understanding of divine identity within Vaishnavism, clearly delineating the line between material and spiritual realms. We should understand what happens in the material world and what happens in the spiritual world, they are totally different. And we cannot understand them also clearly. So we should see them from the eyes of the Shastra, from the definition, from the explanation of our Acharyas. And the nature of illusion, Maya, the narrative illustrates Hunter Jara's tragic error in mistaking Krishna's food for a deer. It was destined because of that he acted like that, and he was not at fault altogether. Then the next, redemption and forgiveness. Now Krishna, he realized Jara's error. It was not actually an error, it was because of his will only. And that's why it happened. That's why he gave him his own Dhamma. And this is because of his mercy. Now, the illusion of material existence, this thing profoundly highlights the deceptive nature of material attachments and inevitable suffering they entail. And it calls upon the devotees to transcend these fleeting entanglements and turn their focus toward spiritual realization. Many of the things are repeated, that's why I am not covering. Then the role of the devotee, Krishna charioteer, Daruka's profound affection and heart-wrenching despair upon encountering Krishna emphasizes transformative power of devotion. He was a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, that's why he was emotionally imbalanced. Now the power of remembrance and awareness, the Jara hunters' realization that unwavering remembrance of Krishna dispels ignorance powerfully underscores the vital role of mindfulness in spiritual practice. We should be very, very mindful about what we are practicing in devotional service. And this concept illuminates the transformative potential for divine remembrance. It posits that awareness of Krishna can liberate individuals from the shackles of ignorance, inspiring practitioners to foster a devotional mindset that cultivates a profound connection with the divine, ultimately guiding them towards spiritual enlightenment. And this passage thoughtfully investigates the core themes of divine identity, illusion, redemption, and the profound importance of devotion, inviting deep reflection on their compelling philosophy and their various implications. And with this, I come to the end of today's class. Now, the session is open for question and answers.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So just a couple of questions here. As we see that the Daruka, right? So he is a chariot Daru. He doesn't take Krishna back, but the chariot and with somebody takes him back, and Daruka was asked to go to Dwarika and inform them. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Krishna doesn't go with the Daruka back.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. That is one. And also, I think it's mentioned there, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, how they can, they did not come also. It says that, right? They said that the duplicate, Pradyumna came here and original remained there in Dwarika,
No,
Prabhasa.
see, all of them had to be withdrawn to the spiritual world.
True.
That's why it was just a show of conflict amongst the Yadus, and in which even the sons and grandsons of Krishna, they were also involved, not only the Yadavas. So
Yeah.
this was just a drama.
This was a drama.
And we know that this is not true.
No. So I had been 4 months back in Prabhasa, and where that temple is there, where Krishna's foot, very nicely shown the picture, right? Left feet on the right, like that, showing that color of that. But Krishna doesn't leave the body, he doesn't leave from that place. From there, he comes to the shore where the three rivers meet. That close to that is the place where also Krishna instruct Uddhava, that Uddhava Gita. Krishna comes back. There's a temple, Gita Bhavan. That is where Krishna comes. It's a 1.5 kilometer, and from there the chariot comes and goes. Also, it is here mentioned the Lord Balraman. He is a Shesha also, and he is also Lord also, right? So, couple of things are mentioned in Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. As a Shesha form, he goes to Patal Loka. There is a place there which is a deep. You go to the cave, exactly that, and then he transforms himself to Shesha, and then he goes. But also it's mentioned as a Swarupa, he goes to Vaikuntha. These two parts I did not get that.
He went to Vaikuntha.
As a Swarupa, he goes to Vaikuntha, and as a Shesha, he goes to the Patal Loka. I think that's what is mentioned in Vishwanath Chakravarti's, comment.
Yes, these are all explanations of the Acharya. Actually, the Lord stays everywhere.
Yes.
There is no difference between Balrama, Sesa, or Krishna. There is no difference. But they stay in different places.
Yeah. That's so nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other question or comments?
Prabhu,
Hare
today I
Krishna,
missed
Prabhuji.
some part of the session. Okay, go ahead, Mantaj. Go ahead.
No, Prabhuji, continue.
Okay, so I missed some part of the session. It's like the person who put the bow arrow on Krishna. So Lord Krishna speaks to him, Prabhu. I missed that part, Prabhu. He speaks to him.
He sent him to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha.
Okay. So is there any past history for that person, Prabhu? For that person? Is there any link between him and Krishna in this life or previous lives or anything like that?
Yes, I think it is there. I am not remembering. If anybody remembers, yes.
That Wali, right? Ram kills a Wali, right? That's what he's
Oh,
talking
is it?
about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Because Lord Ram hides behind the tree, and then Wali says that, Lord, why did you do that, right?
Yes.
So that is what is the connection on that. Because everything has, sequential. Nothing is out of context. Everything is sequential, and as it says that the curse was because of Gandhari, as well as the curse of Gandhari's curse came through the Brahmanas, right? So there is a lesson for all of us in that.
So
Yes.
he says that it is nothing, there is no mistake of yours. So
Yes.
it is all happened. Okay, as it's
Yes.
supposed to happen.
It was no mistake of Jara at all.
Yeah.
Because that drama had to be shown.
And these impersonalists say that, like, see, Krishna also cannot avoid Jara. Jara means like, okay, old age, something like that. People say that. Okay. The name also.
We should understand this from given age it is. We should not interpret them at all. Jara was a hunter. That's what is being told in the Bhagavatam.
Oh, like before coming to Krishna consciousness, I heard, see, there is a meaning for Jara. So even Krishna cannot avoid Jara and all that I heard. I understood now, Prabhu. I'm just telling.
Those explanations are there, but we are understanding them directly or simply as given in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhuji,
प्रभुजी हम ये कह सकते हैं हरे कृष्णा प्रभु प्लीज कैरी ऑन
No, go ahead. Yeah, no, just want to tell, even they don't accept the Pandavas also, right? They talk about so many things. So you can't go into their arguments, right? Just because name happened to be Jara, suppose the name happened Bala, then what they would have done? Right? Jara, they connect with the age, old age, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Mataji, go ahead. Good.
यस प्रभु जी हम यहाँ पे ऐसा देख सकते हैं कि भगवान जब अपने लीला को समाप्त करते हैं तब फ्यूचर में ऐसा मतलब बहुत सारे लोग क्वेश्चन करेंगे तो देखो भगवान की मृत्यु हो गई है मगर अलग अलग परसेप्शन से भगवान मतलब ये कहना चाहते हैं कि हम भगवान को समझ नहीं सकते हैं ऐसे क्योंकि कंफ्यूज कर देते हैं भगवान सबको कंफ्यूज करके
Hey, there is also another story. What people say, like Krishna, he got killed by Jara, and then his body was burnt, but it did not burn completely, and it was thrown in the sea, and it came to Jagannath Puri, and it was
Yes,
recovered,
Prabhu.
and from that, but these are all wrong stories. There is no authenticity in that. The Lord, he comes, he appears and disappears. He does not die like us. His body cannot be burnt. His body cannot be pierced by any weapon. That has
Yes,
to
Prabhu. Even
His body is not touched for 7 days or something like that. There is another story from. I don't know.
There are so many stories, but this
प्रभु जी
is.
इवन जरा ने जब भी अपना बाण चलाया मगर भगवान इंजर्ड नहीं हुए थे क्योंकि भगवान का बॉडी सच्चिदानंद है वो कैसे हो सकता है ना मटेरियल चीज से भगवान इंजर्ड कहाँ कैसे हो सकते हैं
Yes,
मतलब वो हम भागवतम से हम क्लियरली समझ सकते हैं मगर दूसरे लोग जो भागवतम के स्टडी नहीं करते हैं को जिसने ऑथेंटिक संप्रदाय का आश्रय नहीं लिया है तो वो समझ नहीं पाएंगे तो वो अपना अपना इंटरप्रिटेशन लगाते रहते हैं
yes, like you see in Vrindavan, the Krishna is doing all the leelas. With why I also at times think his crores of cows, they keep on moving. He keeps on doing leelas. And here there are thousands of people also going. They don't bump into each other because the material and spiritual things, they cannot meet. And that's why in our material life we cannot see them. That is a separate world altogether, and ours is a separate world altogether. We cannot actually perceive, but they are much different.
Yes, Prabhuji, very true.
Okay, any other comment or question?
Prabhuji, Krishna left for his abode in a distant place from Dwaraka. What is that place where it is?
Hey, he left from Dwaraka, na?
Dwaraka only?
Not Dwaraka, from Dwaraka. Oh,
Prabhas.
Prabhas. Yes,
Prabhas
there he met Sonak Muni and Sonak Rishi and Uddhava.
Oh, at Prabhas.
After Uddhava Gita, all these things happened, then thereafter he left.
Oh, okay. Where is Prabhas Kshetra then?
Somnath, Mataji, Somnath.
Solti Somnath temple.
Oh,
Yes,
Somnath.
Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, thank you so much. So, Prabhuji, when we are seeing Lord's Leela, even the person who is playing a villain, he has to play that part, right?
Yes.
But when we are, so that he is not at fault because he is playing, he is contributing in Lord's pastime. But when we actually read it or listen as a story, we end up developing negative emotions for the characters like Ravana and all. So in that context, are we committing aparadha?
No, you see, we will understand as per our intelligence, our knowledge. So, if we understand, that is not the correct understanding. Now that we have studied the Shastra, we have gone into the commentaries of the Acharyas, now our understanding is correct. Another person, like a majority of the persons in the material world, they will think what? The Yadavas, they drank, then thereafter they fought, and they killed each other, they died. But that is not the actual thing. The intention of Supreme Lord was what we discussed, was to take them back with him because he was also going, and his Leelas, they had to be wind up in the material world. That is the
और
thing.
प्रभु जी दूसरा भी बहुत बड़ा रीजन वो था कि वो इतने शक्तिशाली थे कि कोई उसको हरा नहीं पाएंगे। तो फिर अगर वो हार ही नहीं पाएंगे तो फिर कैसे जा पाएंगे ना, तो इसीलिए भगवान ने अपने अपने में लड़ाई कर ली।
Exactly. That's what I said. Na? Nobody could have defeated them, and they could not have been annihilated by anybody else. That's why this had to be done by themselves only.
Yes, प्रभु जी।
Prabhuji, Samta Mata's question was, like for example, Ravana, right? So we have hate for him because, we see that. So as I understand, I understand for it's called devotees only. So there is a Bhumi Leela and there is Devi Leela. So as a devotees, we see in a different way because we don't want to see Lord could suffer, can undergo all this thing or anything can happen to him, right? Nobody can curse him. That's the only way to see that as a devotee look. But as far as the message of the Leelas of the Lord is for the people to feel that, yes, Daruka killed, fired shot the arrow, and, he has to eliminate the families, all those things. Most of the common people, they have to get a lesson. If they don't take, then there's no meaning, right?
Yes.
So the meaning has to be there. So that is the lesson.
Yes.
प्रभु जी यहाँ पे हम परीक्षित महाराज की भी लीला को हम कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि जैसे भागवतम को अपीयर होना था भौम लीला में, तो ये पूरा लीला हुआ परीक्षित महाराज के साथ भी कि उन्होंने श्रृंगी ऋषि के गले में सर्प डाल दिया, मगर ऐसा हो नहीं सकता है, मगर दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ देयर लीला, they have to perform.
Like you see, Parikshit Maharaj, he was saved from the Brahmastra by the Supreme Lord. And
Yes, Prabhuji.
how can he be killed by the Supreme Lord? So these are all Leelas.
Yes.
And this Leela was for Srimad Bhagavatam to reach us. So all these things, they are Leelas only. And they should
But from that we have to learn so many lessons for ourselves.
Yes.
And we have to understand the Leela as it is, like how Prabhupada has written Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any judgment, without any our opinion. Because when we keep on doing it as per just as per how it is there in the Shastra, then the Lord will give the understanding also like that.
Yes, this is very, very important. Like very many people, they interpret in very many ways. There is no requirement for any interpretation, because what is right, what is straight, it is given in the Shastra. Like in Bhagavatam, they are given straightforward, and there is no requirement to interpret them.
So we have firm faith in Shastra. Firm faith होनी चाहिए बस.
Yes, we have to understand them, we have to have faith on them. That is very, very important. Any other question or comments? No question, no comments. We have got a lot of time.
प्रभु जी, यहाँ पे हम भगवान का करुणामय रूप भी देख सके, क्योंकि जैसे जरा ने बाण लगाया, फिर तुरंत ही उसने भगवान से फॉरगिवनेस मांगी, मुझे क्षमा कर दीजिए, और फिर भगवान ने तुरंत ही उसको कितनी मर्सी दी, भगवान ने डायरेक्ट वैकुंठ लोग भेज दिया. So he is so compassionate.
Okay, you see, it is not correct to say what makes up the body of the Supreme Lord, because that is total transcendental. But for our understanding, we should understand that the complete body of the Supreme Lord is made of this karuna only, and he is always very, very merciful. Therefore, anybody you don't have to take the full name of Krishna or Rama. You take the first letter and he knows that he is taking my name. And there are so many instances in the Shastras, like the Ajamila's case. He was not taking he was taking the name of his son, not the Supreme Lord, and he got liberated. Like anytime you just say, you want to, suppose you want to eat rabdi, and you just say Ra, then hearing this Lord Shiva, he thinks you are about to take the name of Rama. They are like that. And if there is a semblance of bhakti also, the Lord is totally satisfied. And He is there to help us under all circumstances. You see, the amount of mistakes we commit in our lifetime, and still we are able to practice devotional service. What does that mean? It means the Lord is merciful to us. Otherwise, we would not have been in a position to practice devotional service to the Supreme Lord under any circumstances. But it is happening. So that is the
Very true,
mercy of the Lord.
Prabhuji. Very true.
The Lord is always merciful, but you may say, I am practicing devotional service, I am doing so many, so much chanting like all this, but still I have all these problems. Now, all these problems in the material world, they are because of our own karma, and it is because of prarabdha, that portion of our sanchit karma which has been given for this life. And that we have to go through. There is no other way. Anybody and everybody cannot be excused of this. We have to go through this under all circumstances. But what happens when we practice devotional service? When we understand the Lord is so merciful, He is helping us, and we should have faith on Him, then our perspective of seeing those troubles, they change. That's how we are benefited. Otherwise, the troubles will not go. They will still be there. But our perspective of seeing them, of perceiving them, they will only change. This is what is the difference. One who is not devotee, he will not understand these things.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, any other question or comments? If none, we can close, we can end today's session with the Nrsinga prayers.
Yes, Prabhuji. I would request Raksha Mataji to do the Narsim prayers.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai ho. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Laladladadaine. Laladladadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankan khalae ito narsimha parato narsimha ito narsimha parato narsimha yato yato yami tato narsimha yato yami tato narsimha bahir narsimha हृदये नरसिंहा बहिर् नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नाखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव 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 जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय हो। भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय हो। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हो। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हो। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, सो वंडरफुल क्लास। हरे कृष्णा।
Thank you. Thank you.
Dandavat pranam to all devotees.
Tomorrow we'll see how the demigods headed by Brahma, they came, they requested Krishna to go back, and how he went back, his story that we'll see tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Last chapter.
Wonderful
Last-
session, Prabhu. Hari bol. Sharad Prabhu.
Thank you,
Wonderful session.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
so
Wonderful
much.
session.
Prasad Prabhuji, please pray for us at Vrindavan.
Yes, Prabhu.
No, I am not in Vrindavan, Mataji. I did not go.
He could not go,
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
but you'll be doing the recap.
I am. So may I do or आप करने वाले प्रभुजी?
नहीं
You
आप
continue as planned, Mataji. You continue as planned. Okay.
रक्षा माता जी
Okay.
आप करिए हैं
Okay, okay, प्रभुजी. Sure.
Thank you.